Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Models, and this is where we left it off. Now we can actually come in and close this down. We don't actually need this open. The only time we're going to need to open this is basically when we're going to go in and, change some of the shaders around and things like that, so it updates the other parts, the other models within our main blend file. So I'm just going to make sure that I've saved this out. So File, Save, make sure it's all saved out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this down like so. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to basically work on the second floor. Now with the first floor, what I want to do is I want to grab, where's the front of my building? So the front of my building is going to be here. So this is the front. I'm going to grab my guy, bring him round, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this cube. In fact, I'll just grab this cube. I'm just going to press Shift D. I'm going to bring it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press S and Z. And what that's going to do is it's going to scale it along the Z axis. And what I can do then is put that in place on top of there. So with this building, the way I'm going to build it is I'm going to have the main wall here, a second part of the wall above here, and then another main wall above that. So let's again work our way around this, because basically now we've chosen that, we need to make this the same going all the way across. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these, shift click all of them like so, and then I'm going to press the tab button. And the beautiful thing about Blender is we can grab them all at the same time, and then I can come in and grab each of these like so. I can then pull them up like so, and the way I grab them is just shift click each one like so, pull them up like so. Now I did make a mistake there in that I don't just want to pull them up, so I'm going to press Ctrl Z and go back. So let's put them down again like so, and then instead of that what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually duplicate them. So I'm going to press Shift D like so. I'm going to bring them up a little bit like so, and now we can see that we've got a separation between them. And the reason I do that is just more for a visual for me, so I can see what I'm looking at when I light this thing before I actually build anything. So what I'm going to do now I've got that is I'm going to press E to extrude, pull them up to where this one is, and there we go. Now finally what I'm going to do is I want to separate these off from these other parts, because it's going to make it easier long-term building if we have everything separated off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press L on each of these. So L, 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 and L, just to grab all of those. And then I'm going to press P and separate by selection. And now we can see all of these are separated off, and we have basically a middle second floor, if you want to call it that. Okay, so from there now, what I want to do is I want to build up the next part up. So I want to build this going up. So this is the front door here. So I want to come in now and build the next part up. So what I'm going to do for the next part is I'm going to actually grab this one here. I'm going to press Shift D. I'm going to pull it up like so. I'm going to grab my man then and pull him up as well, because we basically want this to be round about the same height as this one here. We could also, instead of doing that, we could just delete that out of the way, grab this one then and bring it up like so and drop that on there, and then we know that we've got a nice height for this next floor. And I think that's actually the way that we'll go with this. Alright, now let's come to our next bit. So what we'll do is we'll grab this bottom one. I'm going to press Shift D. I'm going to drag it up like so, put that on there, and then I'm going to work my way around. Now pretty much as I work my way around, I'm going to just grab all three of these, press Shift D, bring them up to the same height as this one. Now remember, I'm not actually going to keep all of these the same. So for instance, I want to basically make a little bit of an outcropping here and a little bit of an outcropping on this one. In other words, a little bit going in. So what I'm going to do on this part is I'm actually going to come in, grab this part, press Ctrl R, left click, and I think I'm going to put it over there, something like that. Actually, I'm going to pull this a little bit over, something like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete off this next part. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to press Alt, Shift and click just on this one. So Alt, Shift, click, going around it like so, press delete, faces, and just delete that off. I'm also then going to delete this part as well. So I'm going to grab this, delete, faces, and finally then I'm just going to fill in this face here. So I'm just going to grab this actual edge here. So in edge select, this edge as well, press the F button and just fill that in. And you should end up with something like that. So now you can see that this wall is going to follow along here, and we can put a nice, door or window and some little bars along here. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so the next thing then, let's think about this part here. So I'm thinking that I need a little bit coming out from this part, going all the way probably round to this part here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in and I'll grab this part here actually and use that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift D. I'm going to pull it out to here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Tab, Face Select, grab this face, and then I'm going to pull it out maybe to something like that. So we have something for this to stand on. So I'm thinking that's probably out far enough. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab this. I'm going to press Shift D, drag it across, and then Shift D, and then drag it across. Maybe to this first part here. So yeah, something like that I think looks pretty nice. Now it might be the case that this is too big. It could be that. We might have made this building too big, but we're going to go with it and see how it turns out. Okay, so now we've got this second floor. Let's go round then to the next part of the floor, which is these parts here. And all I want to do with these parts is I want to just drag these parts out. So I'm just going to grab both of these, Shift D, let's drag them out like so, and let's pull them into place. So we can see here that these two here, so these two need dragging into place like so, and now things are starting to fit together. All right, so I'm happy with how all of this is looking so far. What I need to do now is I need to think about the top of the roof, and also I need to think, the top floor, and then the roof on top of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all grab all of these, like so. So all of these second floor, basically, I'm going to press Tab, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and grab all of these parts here, like so. Can we grab that one? I don't think, actually. I grab this, there we go. And then I'm going to take that off, grab this one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Shift D again, pull it up a little bit. I'm going to press P, selection, like so. I'm going to press Tab then. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab all of these again, because now they're separated off. And now I can actually extrude them all. So now I've got all these, what I'm going to do is press Tab. I'm going to press A to select them all. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull them up. Now I want to pull them up around the same height as this. So I'm going to press E, pull them up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab one of them, press Shift D, drag this up, and see how far I am off. Now you can see quite a long way off. we need to make these a little bit smaller, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then come in, grab all these again, like so, especially this one. Press Tab, they're already selected, and then I can just drop them down to the top of this one, like so. Now I should be able to actually grab this one, press G just to move it away, and then just put it there, and I can actually delete that one out of the way. All right, so now let's come back round to the front. So this is the front, this is where our guy stood, and what we want is, on this bit here, we want a little bit of an outcropping with a roof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one here. I'm going to press Control A, all transforms. I'm going to right click, set origin to geometry. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in another cube. So if I press Shift A now, sorry, I can't bring in another cube yet because I want to make sure that my cursor's there. So I'm going to press Shift S, cursor selected, Shift A, cube, like so. And let's bring this out into a kind of place that we want it. So now if I want it something like that, I'm going to squish in a little bit. So S and X. So S and X, bring it in. And then what I want to do is put a roof on there and find out how far I want it out. So I want it something out like that. And then I also want a roof. So bottom of it's going to come from maybe, yeah, the other thing is, as you can see, this cube at the moment, it's too wide that way. So I'm going to press S and Y, squish it in the other way, pull it out. Like so. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this up a little bit. So let's pull it up. And then let's also pull this down a little bit, like so. And then what we'll do then is E, extrude. And basically this is going to be a window with a roof on. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this edge, pull it back a little bit, like so. Now, they don't need to be perfect or anything. Again, what we're looking for here, the main thing we're looking for is the overall sense of how the building's going to be. You can see already that this building has a fair bit of complexity, and that is exactly what we're looking for. So we want to make sure that it looks interesting. It's built the way that they would build it in, you know, in back in time, in the medieval times, even though it is stylized. All right, everyone. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Oh yeah, before we go, don't forget to save out your work. We don't want to lose any work. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.